Do you ever feel like that your home is sometimes just as cluttered as your mind may be sometimes? Like for instance, the disorder all around you. Sometimes it's reflecting maybe the stress and the disorder that you may feel within. As Christian career working moms, we all know that we juggle so much from day to day between work, between family, our personal life, and our faith. But on today, what if I told you and shared some things with you in reference to how um, decluttering wasn't just about um, cleaning up certain areas of our home, cleaning up certain rooms of our home. What if I said that it was a spiritual practice? What if I said that decluttering is a spiritual practice? It is a way for us as moms to make room for. It is a way for us to make room for the presence of God, So, in today's video, I'm going to be sharing three powerful steps on how to declutter your home, but not only your home, but your heart as well, using biblical principles. So, let's get started on how to create that place, that place of peace and purpose and faith. Hi, I am Felicia Barr, and welcome to Flourishing with Purpose, where we empower the high-achieving Christian career working mom to create work-life harmony in her life, to help her to balance her career, her work, and her personal time, along with her faith. If this is your first time joining in, I invite you to hit the subscribe button so that you would not miss another faith-filled video. And if you are already a subscriber, I want to say thank you so very much for joining me on today, and welcome back. So we're going to begin with step one, how we can declutter our home and our minds with practical strategies and with biblical principles. So let's talk about step one. Step one is to clear the physical clutter. Let's talk about clearing the physical clutter first. When we're clearing the physical clutter that may be in our homes, we're making room for order. And when we're making room for order, we're also making room for peace. Because when you have order in your home, when you have order in certain rooms of your home, you just feel a peace. First Corinthians 14:33 says, "For God is not a God of disorder, but He is a God of peace." So this means that our homes also should reflect it as well. Our homes should also reflect the peace of God as well. So here are three practical tips that we can apply to help bring organization in our home and to help bring peace in our home. The first one is we can do a 10-minute declutter. A 10 to 15 minute declutter is power in it's power in the 10 and 15 minutes. We can do a lot in 10 to 15 minutes. So let's start with the 10-minute declutter. The 10-minute declutter, set a timer to focus on just not 2 or 3, but just one area of your home that you want to declutter to help it to be more peaceful in that area of your home. The second thing is we can apply the 3-box method. We can apply the 3-box method. The 3-box method is to get 3 boxes and label those boxes. One would say keep, one would say donate, and one would say trash. We are labeling those boxes because it's going to help us to declutter those areas in our home, and it's going to help us to help it to be easier to make a decision. Do we want to keep it? Do we want to donate it? Or do we want to trash it? And the third thing is to bless others. Bless others with the extra and the excess that we have. Well, I have a lot of extra and excess that I have that I really do not need. So it is a lot of areas in my home that I need to definitely declutter those areas to help bring more order, more organization in my home, and it will, following the organization, it will bring peace. It will bring peace and a feeling of tranquility and just stillness in those areas of my home. So bless others with the excess. Bless others with the extras that we just don't really need. We just don't really need. Luke 3:11 says, anyone who has 2 shirts should share one with the one that has none. So if you got 2 or something that you really don't need, then share that other one with someone that does not have one. Share that other one with someone that does not even have one. So decluttering is not, I want to share too that decluttering is not all about perfection, but it's about making space for areas to be functional and to be peaceful. Areas to be functional and peaceful, so that we can focus on what really matters and not be distracted by all these other things, but we're able to focus on those things that really matters to us. Step number 2. We decluttered. We talked about decluttering certain areas in our home to bring about order, organization, and peace. Now, step 2, let's talk about decluttering your heart. Let's talk about decluttering our hearts. Decluttering our hearts. Just like our homes, our hearts really do get cluttered. Our hearts really do get cluttered. They get cluttered with stress. Our hearts get cluttered with guilt. Our hearts get cluttered with emotional baggage. Our hearts get weighed down with anxiety, fear. Our hearts get weighed down with unforgiveness. Oh my goodness, that's one all by itself. But the word says that we are to guard our hearts. We are to guard our hearts with all diligence. We should be intentional, and we should be diligent and intentional with guarding our hearts. Guarding our hearts. When we guard our hearts with the word of God, we guard our hearts with biblical truth. We did and apply the word of God in reference to guarding our heart. So let's talk about guarding our heart. When we're guarding our heart, first of all, we as moms, we need to let go of perfectionism. We need to let go of trying to be perfect in so many areas of our life, because they can build up so many things in our heart that we just don't need them there, don't want them there, and they definitely do not need to be there. So in order to avoid that, then we need to lean into the grace of God. We need to lean into the grace of God, because when we're trying to be perfect in so many areas of our life, we are operating out of our own strength, insight, wisdom, knowledge. We don't have to do that. We need to just lean into the love and the grace of God. 2 Corinthians says in 12:9, he says that my grace is sufficient for you, that my grace is made perfect in your weakness. So we can just lean into the grace of God. And number 2 is that will protect our hearts. We can surrender worry. Oh my goodness. We can surrender. We have to practice surrendering worry to the Lord. Surrendering those anxieties unto the Lord. Casting those cares unto the Lord. 1 Peter 5:7 says, cast. He didn't say carry. He said cast. Cast all. Not 1, not 2, not 3. But the word says, he said cast. We have a burden bearer. We have a burden bearer. His name is Jesus. We have a burden bearer. He said, cast your cares. You do not have to carry them. Cast them. Give them to me. Hand them over to me. I will carry them. Cast all your anxieties, cast all your cares, all of your worries upon him, because he cares for you. He cares for me. He cares for you. So we can cast. We do not have to carry. We can cast. We do not have to carry. And the third thing is, this is a doozy. And I'm sure this may be a doozy for everyone that is listening in, is to, when we are decluttering our hearts, we are to forgive and move on. We are to forgive and move on. And it is not easy. I am sure many times, many things that happen in our life, that take place in our life, that we that we need to forgive, but it is not easy many times. I am sure I have even experienced it as well, and probably will experience it some more. But God commands and requires for us to do so. But we can't do it. We can't do these things in our own strength. That's why, again, we have to lean into the grace and the love of God to do these things, so that we can keep our heart from being cluttered. We can keep our hearts from being cluttered, because when our hearts are cluttered, it takes away our joy. It takes away our peace, our tranquility. So the word says in Colossians 3:13 to forgive, because God forgave you, because God has forgiven me. So God commands us to forgive. He commands us and requires for us to forgive. So these are the 3 things that can help to declutter our hearts. So we have talked about decluttering areas of our home. We've talked about decluttering areas of our heart. So now let's also, when we release the emotional clutter, when we begin to release through the power and the help of the Lord. When we release the emotional clutter, we make space for God's joy. Like I said earlier, we make space for his joy. We make space for his peace and his purpose. So let's dive into the last one. Step 3 is I want to share with you that decluttering, again, just isn't about removing things from your home. It's about making your home. It's about making your home, my home, a place. Making our homes a place. And not only our homes, but a heart. Making our hearts and home a place where God dwells. A place where his presence is. A place where he dwells. A place where his presence is felt. A place, your home, where a place where God's presence is felt because he dwells there, he lives there. Our heart is filled with his love and joy and peace, and the presence, his presence is with us. So these are the tips and ways that we can create a faith-filled home. And that is, one way is to set up a prayer or a Bible study corner. I have a little small area, a prayer corner in my home, and I'm just in awe. I just absolutely love that little small prayer corner. It's just me and God. I just absolutely love it. That's my prayer time, my study time, my worship time in that corner of my house. So also, you can in that area that you have, wherever it may be, it could be your prayer time, your worship time, your quiet time that you seek the Lord. Also, number 2 is you can display around different rooms of your house and different areas of your home. We can display faith-based decor. We can display faith-based decor. Put up scriptures and affirmations in your home, out and about in your home. So you can decorate your home with different decors. Because when our home is filled with the reminder of God's presence, it becomes a place of renewal, it becomes a place of peace, and it becomes a place of restoration, because you are inviting in God's presence. Me and my house, as for me, the word says, as for me and my house, we shall serve the Lord. So I want to encourage you today, and I want you to just remember that decluttering, yes, it is about organization, but it's even more, it is more than just organization as well. It's a way. It is, when we declutter our home, it's organization, but it's a way to as well to create in our homes and in our heart. We are creating a place for the presence of God to dwell and abide there, So I want to ask you on today, so what would be your first area where you think you may need to declutter today? Do you feel like that you need to declutter certain areas in your home? Or do you feel like you need to declutter certain areas in your heart? Or it could be you need to do some decluttering in both areas, in your home and in your heart, because you have a desire and you want God's presence to dwell. You want God's presence to abide in your home. And you want God's presence to abide and live and dwell in your heart. If this video has encouraged you in any way, then don't forget to like this video and help other Christian moms out there to find it as well. Help other Christian moms as well to find it and to share this video with them. And don't forget to, if you are not already a subscriber, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more faith-based productivity and time management tips so that you will never miss another video. Thanks again for joining me on today, and I will see you on the next video.